as Team Envy, their newest member, Happy Cool, now joining his former teammate Numlocked in that off-tank role. And Happy, very well known for his diva play, also has a pocket Pharah. We've seen him pull up a couple of other heroes, but we can't sugarcoat it. Team Envy certainly looked like a different squad after last week, having to deal with multiple changes to their tank lineup ever since Elivo and Lessard were called up to the Washington Justice. So as things break down here on Lighthouse, Montreal Rebellion immediately taken to the skies with Facility on his patented Pharah, one of his best heroes. But they lose Goliath right away, and that's going to mean a drop back for Montreal.
Maybe not for long, though. There's going to be 2 return kills, so it's 2 now, and the cap has taken place. Montreal Rebellion will take the first one, and this is really good news for them because what map type did Team Envy lose? The one type they had, it was here on Control. They've been taken to 3 rounds plenty of times as well throughout the season, only once losing it out, and Jake Haru's going to find himself in the pit. Montreal Rebellion already losing 2. This should be a flip for Team Envy. What will Montreal Rebellion do in return?
Yeah, not a bad play by Montreal Rebellion. Got 16% on the board, even though Team Envy flipped it almost immediately afterwards. 16, always better than 0. But now the question, like you said, Boop, is how will Montreal re-engage? As we all know, Pharah's a much bigger advantage when she's defending rather than pushing in. You're very obvious. Your paths are going to be able to be mapped out by Sharp, who's already in this backline looking for some key hacks, or potentially just waiting for this EMP to come online.
Developing it in a pretty good pace with Facility, developing some kills with that Rocket Barrage, getting 2 and surviving. He's going to be able to make it out even with the Coalescence pushing him away. As Montreal Rebellion now have that numbers advantage, Team Envy still fallen by the wayside. The EMP is going to have to wait for the next one.
Yeah, Sharp doesn't want to just blow this EMP in the last seconds of this fight, even though there is quite a bit of stalling going on. Nice midi. Facility is very well known for hitting mid-air directs specifically. And actually something that's really interesting, as we've seen a ton of Pharahs all season long, is piecing together their different playstyles. You got the mid-air duelers, you got the ground pounders working on bursting those tanks, and Facility is definitely not one to shy away from the mid-air battle. Team Envy now going to look to set up Sharp for this EMP engage, but they have to wait for Numlock to wake up from his sleep.
Montreal Rebellion must know that this EMP is coming. They're already at 46 and 42% respectively. We haven't seen what he does. Yeah, he's trying to go for it. That he does. He's gonna get Jakaru and Snex, though, are going to get revenge, or Facility's going to get revenge on Snex and Jakaru getting hacked, and he's going to bring his team right back. They also still have that numbers advantage. The Rocket Barrage is getting too much value if you're a Team Envy fan. It's been ripping them apart so far.
Exactly. Numlock forced to pop Primal Rage. He so wants Jakaru to fall down into the well, but it's not going to happen. Snex now blowing Team Envy to pieces with that whole hog, and though he falls himself, Facility is still alive in the air, not for too much longer though, but Team Envy needs to go for this clean sweep. All this time so far has still been point percentage for Montreal.
Snake's getting a nice cheeky kill onto Happy Cool in the well, stunning him so he can get back up, as Montreal Rebellion haven't not gotten the point back, as Team Envy is going to go ahead and use the sound barrier to keep this going. They're going to try to stall it out. They own the point, so why not at this point in time? Team Envy, though, going to fall victim to some CC, and Montreal Rebellion will get more kills to bring them right back into this. This should be a flip. Now Team Envy, their game is to stall it out, because at 81%, Montreal, after they flip, only need that one team fight to finish it out here on Well.
And it might happen sooner rather than later, as Team Envy have been playing from behind this entire time. This has all just been staggered kills. Montreal Rebellion have a toehold on this point, and they're not letting it go, as Goliath and Facility picking Team Envy apart right now. Smex so incredibly accurate with those hooks. He's not afraid of the Sombra in the backline at all.
What a stall. That's about 30% for Team Envy at a numbers disadvantage the entire time. Shark almost getting cooled, but is going to survive. He's going to have to try for that EMP once more, but this is going to be a big one. The EMP coming at a great time. It's only going to be his second one of the round. Let's see if it's going to find that value against Montreal Rebellion, who seems to be in EMP control so far. He's going to throw that EMP, take the tanks. Nice biotic grenade on Jakaru is going to take him out. No partner for Montreal Rebellion, but only one casualty for them, and finally they take care of the bird in the skies. Facility is going to get taken down, and the hack's going to make sure he goes down at the well. Team Envy are going to come and bring this back. Now let's see how Montreal Rebellion come back onto the point and respond.
Ooh, Team Envy, that EMP could not have come at a more perfect moment. Smex had just hooked Numlock, and that could have spelled doom for Team Envy's main tank, and Doom for their last chances of taking this point. Fortify now used for Jikaru, and he's getting batted into the Team Envy backline. Bar a miracle, this Reaser should go down.
But he's staying alive. Lewis Power making sure everyone else feels the Power's facility getting another pick, and now Team Envy are going to get one in return, so this is still even on the objective as Montreal Rebellion and Team Envy are locked in a duel here on Well. Still no more casualties, still a 5v5 here. Sharp has another EMP, and that is what you call a fight-winning ultimate. He's going to go ahead and throw that out, get 3 people hacked. But looking at those HP bars, not a ton of follow-up damage. His facility actually going to get the first pick after Sharp's EMP. Team Envy now going to be coming up on a couple other ultimates, and Nano could absolutely be brutal against Montreal Rebellion at this time. Numlock could get that Nano boost and cause some disruption in the backline. Happy Cool's bomb isn't quite that nice bomb Happy that we want to see as Numlock gets so close to that primal.
And Numlock getting close, but Team Envy close so many times, but unable to sweep Montreal Rebellion off of this point. Big anti-Bionade gonna keep facility alive for now, and he's gonna, zone away the bottom of the lighthouse. Definitely worth it. If nothing else, he's still alive, and Montreal Rebellion still in this. Whole Hog nearly up, and Supercharger, as well as Team Envy lose their main source of healing.
Crimzo finally does go down, but so does Facility, and he's the one that's doing most of the heavy lead lifting for Montreal Rebellion. Jikaru, though, gonna have that Supercharger, gonna throw it out, mistake CC, and this 1v1 on the Brig is going to potentially go Garu's way, but the thing there is the EMP goes down and did not hit Mystique, so that could have been a kill onto the Brig, but now this 99-90 time overtime round here on Well is going to continue, Ham.
Yes, Team Envy now trying desperately. Happy's on the Hammond. Oh, but he goes down. Montreal Rebellion digging into their heels. This overtime has been going on so long. If anybody from Team Envy hops off for even a moment.
They finally do take the flip, and I think Team Envy has taken too many casualties for the time being, but they've been able to come back from worse situations, but not this time as Team Envy fall. I feel like overtime we could have completed a whole other round of Ilios. The Montreal take that 100-99, and that's going to be a big boon to their confidence.
Yeah, man, the focus fire for Team Envy just not there at all. Every time they got a kill, it was because they had a strong engage. For example, EMP into the full dive from Team Envy, delete Smex off of the map. The Roadhog, one of the most hardy heroes. But beyond those engages, where was Team Envy? Where was the target prioritization? Montreal Rebellion running a ton of very dangerous DPS heroes. You have Facility up in the air. He could two-shot a Squishy. You have Smex ready with that one-shot hook kill. And Team Envy kind of just running circles around Montreal Rebellion, tickling them here and there, but never getting that confirmed kill. And in today's day and age with the meta the way that it is, you can't just brawl things out and wait for your ultimates. You need to focus people down. Time to kill can't become an issue for Team Envy in the future, because with that big anti-nade.
But Crimzo finds first blood onto the Doomfist. Montreal Rebellion felt like they did almost everything correctly there. As Team Envy were also pretty low when we saw that Doomfist trying to aggress upon them. But Team Envy find that initial pick. Happy's going to be in trouble here when he's hacked and has the bio. That DMAC will be coming soon enough. But with another pick onto Montreal, all Team Envy need to do is make it onto the point they should tap it.
If Team Envy, now this is when things are starting to go their way. They have a superior tank presence, and now that they own the point, it's going to be much more difficult for Montreal to grab it from them. But we've seen crazier things, just like on Lighthouse when Facility opens it up with a massive 2K barrage, and he's close to that once again. Not even going to need it this time.
Already taking down Happy. Team Envy also going to lose their main tank, Numlock, so Montreal should be able to flip this in no time as well. Some good long distance damage coming in from Facility. Hespera has been very good so far, but no flip just yet. There we go, as Team Envy the point at 29%.
Yeah, Fire trying to keep that alive and in Envy's control for as long as possible, but ideally Team Envy would have had a bit of peel to go to their Lucio's aid, keep that stall going a little longer. As it stands, they only have 30% and now have to burn through all of Montreal's ultimates. EMP, Nano, Sound Barrier, and Barrage all up for Montreal.
They've got an EMP of their own, however, EMP into Coalescence can work wonders as Coalescence is finally going to be launched, and you're trying to look for the bird in the sky. That's visibility, but no damage taken so far from Montreal Rebellion. The EMP's going to go through the other side. 5 members of Team Envy are going to be a hack. EMP into Barrage means Facility going to find a couple more kills as Montreal Rebellion still maintains control of the objective.
Very valuable EMP right there, but Team Envy trying to bring things back. EMP into Sound Barrier is going to give them a bit of a buffer to try and get on top of Montreal Rebellion, but the kills are a slow time coming.
Well, it looks like they're actually going to be able to get that respite from Montreal Rebellion as the EMP comes after casualties from Team Envy go back to spawn, but they give them enough time to get everyone back onto the objective, and this has just been a brawl both rounds so far between two teams. This is some high-tempo stuff as Montreal is going to lose their Mercy. So that's going to be a big opening for Team Envy to come back onto the objective. They just have to clean it up. Smek's getting a kill onto the Brig is nice for Montreal, but Team Envy definitely in control for the time being. They just got to get onto the objective.
Yeah, they gotta clean up these kills. Montreal Rebellion still have a couple of squishies barely alive, and with the help of a tickle cannon from Numlock, Team Evie will finally flip things, but not before Montreal Rebellion rack up 74%. So this is the one and done fight territory. Montreal Rebellion really need to look to one more clean fight to take not only this lighthouse, but the entire control round from Envy, who have definitely been struggling so far today.
Team Envy have EMP, they've got Coalescence, they've got Primal Rage, they're soon to be coming up on that sound barrier. Looking over at Montreal and their ultimates, Facility, Jkaru, Smacks. If there's a shark going to try to focus down that Pharah, that's exactly what you need your Sombra to do in this day and age. Nice bio onto Team Envy, but now that Facility is gone, most of that damage coming from Montreal is gone as well.
Yes, Team Envy playing a bit of defense here. Montreal Rebellion do have the option to try and reverse this. Nope, they lost their main tank. They are going to back up for now. Numlock just padding a little bit of that ultimate.
This is the first time I feel like Team Envy has settled down so far on control. Montreal Rebellion have made them work for every percentage that they've gotten on the objective. Team Envy seems to be on the back foot, more reactions than we are looking for. They're more likely to control the tempo in the previous matchups. Mistakes, though, going to launch that EMP. 3 members hacked on the Team Envy for the sound barrier to keep everyone alive. Nice hack on the facility to stop that rocket barrage. Montreal Rebellion also going to invest more ultimates in here because they've got to, as they're on the brink of losing out this round after being in control for the majority of it. Happy going to throw out that bomb. I want to say it, and nice bomb, Happy, onto Mistake. Team Envy lose their Sombra, but they have that numbers advantage.
Exactly, and they're going to try and clean up the rest of the point now with the help of Jaru's rally. Jkaru trying to keep things alive as long as possible, but the numbers just not favoring Montreal Rebellion. And wow, Facility does have Barrage, doesn't have that positioning. So Team Envy going to even things up, keep themselves alive in their weakest map type, Control.
Woo! Man. What an exciting round of control so far. This has been mostly fighting the entire time on the objective. And it's funny because both teams seem to not have 6 members during these fights. It's like 5v4, and then it's 3v2. Yeah, exactly. And like the numbers change every single time we go onto the objective. But as of right now, Team Envy, Montreal Rebellion tied 1-1 here on control. Remember, if Montreal want to get that second seed, they've got to do what no other team has been able to do, and that's sweep Team Envy. Not only have they not been swept, they've only lost one game, one map so far this season, and it was on control. So let's see if Montreal Rebellion will be able to continue that losing streak for Team Envy on this control round. Now that we're here on Ruins, and this means some sniper from Mistakes.
Yep, some sniper and some roll-in action from Lewis Power. Jkaru on the Hammond. And Ruins has been a great place for long-distance damage ever since the opening days of Overwatch, and Mistakes going to try and take advantage of that. Brigidas have actually been a favorite victim of Widows all season long. As a Brigida, you're going to be frontlining in her current iteration. A lot of times you're not going to be covering your flanks, necessarily not used to looking out for those Widowmaker scopes, and you can often get just shot right through the temple. You get Jaru alive for now, but the same can't be said for Numlock.
Facility, though, also very low, hiding because the Biotic Grenade has colored in purple as Mistakes finds the Sombra. And that headshot should mean good news for Montreal, but Team Envy have a little bit more presence on the objective, so they're going to own the point first. Now Montreal has to come in, attack, get someone on the objective, and flip it. And all the while, Team Envy will be developing this percentage.
Maybe they don't even need to wait for Jkaru to come in. They could just have Facility kill absolutely everybody, but in the meantime, Numlock jumping on top of the Montreal Rebellion backline, trades back and forth so far. Like you said, very sloppy fights, not really the coordinated all-in from Team Envy that we've seen in the past.
Well, I mean, it's just been so gritty so far. These two teams are fighting for their lives here on control, and Montreal Rebellion fighting for that second seed. Even though it seems like such a monumental task, they're not going to give up as Team Envy still own the point, though. They've been at a numbers of disadvantage since the beginning of this round and finally do break bring it back, and they're going to own it now, as Team Envy are also going to have that EMP for the next engage, but looking on the other side, so do Montreal.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to who pulls the trigger first. Team Envy are defending. They're going to have the advantage, but I believe Sharp was found out by Montreal. He might have backed up, not entirely sure, but if Montreal do have Facility caught by the EMP before they're ready, that's probably going to spell doom for their current push.
Sharp does get tickled by that rocket on the ground, reveals himself. He's going to go ahead and translocate away so he can shift in stealth in a better position.
Yeah, Tenza actually already popped that Valkyrie, trying to urge Montreal Rebellion forward, but Team Envy just back off and waste that entire ultimate.
And Vasily is going to fall, and is also going to waste the nano, too, so that environmental kill proves to be super valuable for Team Envy, who are now 2 members ahead of Montreal Rebellion right now. This is looking like a round win for them, and at 84%, they're so very close to taking Montreal's chances of that second seed away.
I think Team Envy have finally opened their eyes, smelled the coffee, or the rockets as it were, keeping their most valuable members alive. Sharp not dying in the Montreal backline, and the rest of Team Envy focusing down Facility with some real concentration right now.
Jkaru does make it to the objective. Triggering overtime is going to give a little bit more time for Montreal to come back as the Primal Raging wins and trying to get to the back line. Now Javi's going to throw out that bomb. Doesn't find any kills as Montreal Rebellion now going to have a couple ultimates on their own, and Facility is just getting bullied now. That's been the biggest adjustment from Team Envy since the beginning of Ilios. Facility was allowed to reign free in the sky, and right now he's spending more time in spawn at the tail end of Ruins here, and now all of the ultimate shooting coming out from Montreal, who have been able to flip the point in the meantime during this fight. It's flipped right back over. Overtime started once more as Team Envy tried to keep control of at this point. EMP goes through. 2 members of Montreal are hacked. You got to get those kills. That they do. Sharp and Happy do finalize those kills. Another sleep onto an ulting Facility means that Team Envy will be winning Ilios. That was a thrilling round of control.
Yeah, Team Envy really sharpening up, as it were, taking Montreal's most prized tool out of their arsenal. A lot of times you have this question when you're when an opponent is giving you trouble. Do we try and play our game better? Do we try and push our version of Overwatch, or do we simply keep them from playing what they want to play? And in this case, the answer was clear for Team Envy after suffering so much on Well. They're like, I think this Facility guy has given us a lot of trouble.
Even though Montreal Rebellion did lose out, I'm really excited for the rest of this series, as Montreal is obviously here to win. And the way that they challenge Team Envy every step of the way here, except for the last 20-30% on Ruins, has been exhilarating to see. Let's go back to Team Envy's adjustment, because how do you go from Facility getting 2 Rocket Barrage kills every single time to getting, I think, 3 or 4 in a row?
Yep. I mean, it's all about focus, right? Target prioritization, and Facility was target number 1 for Team Envy after they just took this absolute shellacking on Well. There's kind of a couple ways to deal with pharmacy type compositions. One, you can obviously focus on the air, hack the Pharah, shoot the Pharah, matrix the Pharah, or you can try and just win the ground game so quickly that she never really gets any value from her rockets, because if Pharah has one weakness, is that her rate of fire very slow, and she only has 6 rockets. You dodge those, you know you have a window of opportunity to work without having to worry about that incoming damage. However, Team Envy just not able to dismantle Montreal Rebellion's tank line. You see how much trouble Smex and Jkaru were giving Numlock. He jumped onto the Orisa. He was forced to pop Primal just to see if he could knock the Orisa into the well. That's not the kind of value that you want to be getting from your ultimates, from your players. So Team Envy instead are like, well, we'll just focus Facility down. We believe that if Facility can't play the game the way that he wants to, then we can probably win as long as we take him out.
Well, I think his placement on the World Cup team for the Netherlands really proves itself right here. They're going to need that kind of Pharah when they do make it to the Overwatch World Cup, if they do get to Anaheim. And so Montreal Rebellion now have that World Cup talent, especially with Smex as well. But on the other side, you've got a couple representatives as well. You got Crimzo representing Canada, Numlocked for the UK, and Hatfield most likely for Iceland when that does get announced. So there's good talent on both sides, and really good talent to look moving forward into Overwatch just in general, and that's been on display here on Control. Facility playing super well, but going over to Team Envy, something that we mentioned last week is we really believe that this is the strongest support line in all of Contenders, North America East and West. I think we were proved that a little bit right now, because who was the big reason why they were able to style out so long is Crimzo and Fire, very slippery.
super slippery, and you might not expect those kinds of antics from Ana. You know, grandma's got weak knees, a little bit of arthritis, but she's still very spry, and especially with Crimzo, you can never ever feel safe as a DPS or a tank in their backline. Sleeps aplenty, big fatty anti-nades, and of course an aim that is really the envy of all.
Liking it. So now that we're here on Volskaya Industries, it's going to be our assault map. Just to remind everybody, we are one patch before the Overwatch League right now, so the assault changes are not here in Contenders. 222 Rollock is not here right now. We will have all of that for the playoffs in 2 weeks. So Montreal Rebellion and Team Envy will meet each other here on Volskaya, and I'm expecting a little bit more DPS, especially from Montreal Rebellion, and that's looking like what we're going to see because they're on the defensive side, but Team Envy running something a little bit more familiar.
Yep, Crimzo on the Ana, Haffy on the Diva, and Numlock on the Winston. No surprises here in Montreal Rebellion. Not really any surprises either. They're going to be guessing that Team Envy is not going to be running a ton of dedicated hit scan for Facility, so even though he did get shut down on Ilios eventually, it's one of Montreal's best looks. So you might as well put him on there. 31% to Barrage already, and Mistakes right there with him, 40% to Infrasight. And I just want to say, Mistakes, for being a projectile player, that's what he largely played when he was on Boston Uprising, his Widowmaker has improved by leaps and bounds.
Montreal Rebellion trying to improve their season by getting this win. They have already lost out in the second seed. They want to put themselves in position for a high seed as well. In order to do that, they've got to take down Team Envy right here and right now from here on out. And with Montreal Rebellion and their ultimate charge, it's going to be a while before Team Envy can really make anything happen, but Shark getting a pick is a really great way to do that. There's one on return. His Facility also going to get hacked. It's going to escape with 29 HP, but Sharp is going to fall after taking 2 down on his own. And these trades are better for the offense as they'll get to the objective a little bit earlier than the recovering defense.
Exactly. Team Envy able to take Tensa down so quickly was such a key part of their attack, because Montreal Rebellion, with what they're currently running, they don't have the Hog on, but they do have Orisa and Smex on that Mei, a very popular combo in Overwatch League right now, who are working with that 222 Rollock. And one of Mei's best abilities is not just her self-sustain, but the fact that she can lane and CC any incoming divers. And Team Envy running with Numlock and Haffy Cool are going to have to watch out for that Mei. Montreal Rebellion not really going to make too many changes. Mistakes is going to swap onto the Brigida for a bit more ground presence here on point.
Facility going ahead and sticking with this Pharah in the air as well. We've seen try the Pharah in a point B to moderate success, and Facility going to have that Rocket Barrage. He's already pretty low. Numlock does have the Nano and is already going to take the Mei out of the game. Goliath will most likely be next. 3 kills already for Team Envy. The snowball unto this point. EMP now going to hack every remaining member of Montreal Rebellion. This should be an easy take for Team Envy. Montreal had what it took to potentially get this defense going, but in the end, Team Envy just a little too quick on the trigger for Montreal to respond adequately.
Exactly. Team Envy also waking up and smelling those surgical dives, identifying the weakest members, and everybody on the same page. You have Sharp coming in and hacking up one of the most frustrating members of the Montreal defense. That would be Smex on the Mei, deleting that Mei immediately, and then diving upon the healers. So even though in a lot of our casual games, everybody will be screaming, "Get the Mercy, get the Mercy, get the Ana," constantly, the healers oftentimes are actually not the #1 priority, depending on who you're playing and what maps you're going to be playing on. In Montreal's case, if Smex had stayed alive, he doesn't really need the help from an Ana, from a Lucio, and can stall out and run through all of his abilities before Team Envy really have a chance to kill him. So the choice to hack up Smex first and take that pesky Mei out, a really good choice from Envy.
Well, because you could have decided to hack Facility, which has been the name of the game for the majority of today, since Sharp has kind of switched over to that, let's focus in on that bird, but this time around, knowing exactly who to target just shows some really good game sense coming in from Team Envy. On Montreal's side, this Pharah losing a little bit of its luster was amazing on Well, was so good on Well, was very good on other parts of Ilios, but as of right now, Team Envy know exactly what to do with it, whether it's Sharp or Crimzo. There is always someone dealing with that Pharah, because Pharah's gotten slept quite a bit as well throughout the series.
Exactly. Team Envy's support line not just there for the heals, but for the damage as well. As Montreal Rebellion do still have the chance, though, to put up as impressive of an attack on their round. Facility again taking a couple of opening shots from Crimzo as Envy survey the attackers. Montreal Rebellion going to be coming in with that triple, or actually no, this is a 2-2, well, 1-2-3. You have J-Karu on the Hammond, but mistakes on the Brigida, actually pretty interesting. This is Montreal Rebellion's take on the single main tank. They do want J-Karu to have a little bit of support on the ground, and of course a bit of heal for Goliath.
Yeah, Mistakes has been running the Brig a couple times already today, and again, to varying success, you got to do something with the pick. If it's going to be different, you got to prove why it's better than another option could be. Nice environmental kill coming in from the Ferret. There's already a return kill. Beautiful biotic grenade, though, from Montreal Rebellion. A nice focus fire onto Happy Cool means that he's going to lose his mech. This defense from Team Envy starting to look a little paper thin, but with a return kill onto the Sombra, they're getting a little bit stronger.
Again, fire coming in on the kill feed for his team, especially since Numblocked is currently asleep. No nano for you, and no Diva Matrix either, so Facilities Barrage is for free. Lasers down Crimzo, and that will be the point take for Montreal.
Should have stuck with paper thin, as Team Envy are going to lose out point A very, very quickly. They do it. Montreal now have a same opportunity to walk into the second point just like Team Envy did, but what Team Envy was able to do was get to a couple ultimates and get an initial pick before even getting to the second objective. Montreal doesn't quite have that. They've got Rally, but they were 12% away from EMP. Once that EMP is live, Team Envy will have to worry about that, as Smex is going to be looking for some major hacks. Facility also in the sky, choosing to run the Ferret into the second point, waiting for this EMP to go down, so he can also get a little bit more space to move forward and get into the faces of Team Envy. They're going to be walking onto this objective pretty slowly, and the EMP is going to go down from Team Envy first. 3 members of Montreal hacked, and there's a return EMP coming in from Montreal, but there's going to be trades. It's a 5v5 right now. Spectre unable to complete that hack. Actually, yes, he doesn't get it onto Happy Cool. Tensa able to get the res onto Facility in the middle of this fight. They need to cover those res. Happy Cool's bomb is out. Takes down the Sombra. Nice bomb, Happy. As Montreal Rebellion is going to use that Valkyrie up, and now they're going to reset just a little bit too much to break through against Team Envy.
Team Envy able to scramble back with that defense. A great EMP from Sharp. Montreal Rebellion just a little bit too patient, and this happens actually a lot of times, especially with pharmacy comps for whatever reason.
Especially with Montreal.
And especially with Montreal. Barrage is a pretty difficult ultimate to set up, even when you are Facility, and a lot of times I can feel like this is not the time. I can find a better opportunity in just 10 seconds, but you wait long enough, you're going to lose it, especially if your fire gets slept.
Sleep, bio, then Crimzo gets the kill. This is why we say Crimzo deserves a spot on the Canadian World Cup team and deserves a spot as potentially one of the best supports here in North American Contenders. Smex goes down with the EMP as well. This should be another good defense from Team Envy, but I wanted to continue talking about what you were saying about Montreal. Is Montreal in the past has gotten punished for playing very slowly. They're arguably one of the slowest moving in terms of tempo teams that we have. They will wait forever for an initial pick. Sometimes it's 2 minutes or more, and sometimes it never comes.
Exactly, and every now and then you really just need to be able to up the tempo against aggressive teams like Envy, and when you're looking towards not just the playoffs but the showdown and the gauntlet, then names like Grunto, names like Atlanta come in to play, and you have to be able to at least match that. Montreal Rebellion will have banked up quite the ultimate supply, but Team Envy has been just holding them back time and time again. I had a Ham's hints where I said that Fire and Crimzo dual Sombras for fun, but never has that been more apparent than today. I think Smex has died to Fire like 2 or 3 times now.
EMP goes through. 3 members of Montreal Rebellion are hacked, but not the Sombra, so there's going to be EMP going the other way, so everyone's pretty much on even footing, especially now that this is a 5v5. Sound barrier into Rally means that Team Envy are going to have some defensive options. Another hack onto Facility, who's gone silent on this era for the time being. Montreal still holding on to those ults. Gotta get a cramp suit, Ham.
Exactly, Montreal, come on, you gotta pull the trigger at some time. Just rip that ripcord. Team Envy now pressing their advantage, and they just feel no fear right now. They are, Garo taking a bit of a sleep, not gonna matter too much though, because Envy just with such overwhelming advantage. And just really unlucky again, Montreal potentially getting too antsy, searching for those kills, really hungry for it. They didn't wait to pop EMP after Fire drops the sound barrier, because that could have been a total tempo changer, but Team Envy, as it stood in that last fight, got all of the overshields from Fire, and Montreal Rebellion just standing there, pockets empty.
Smex is off the Sombra, so Team Envy, I think, forcing that a little bit as they weren't getting a ton of value out of Smex's EMP. Sharp was way better at forcing the EMP out of Smex. Smex being able to use the EMP when he wants to. Numlock going to get the Nano. The Arist is going to be fortified, but for how much longer before he's going to knock him right back into his team? But Numlock actually in a very interesting position right now. Beautiful combo. That's what you call a wombo combo, my friends. Got a little Primal Rage in there. You got the EMP and then
bomb action.
Into that bomb action. Nice bomb happy. Team Envy gonna get this one again.
Excellent. Really good play from Team Envy right there. Bombs are a dime a dozen these days, and there were all kinds of setups throughout the history of Overwatch. You have, bomb shatter, grab, bomb, and in this case, a perfect EMP into bomb with a bit of nano primal distraction. Team Envy, though, might have overinvested in that last fight. They don't have a single ultimate amongst the 6 of them. The closest one is going to be that nano boost, and hopefully for Montreal fans, the team's going to sense that weakness and prep facility for the barrage of his lifetime.
He's been getting hacked and slept. Every time he presses Q, he's got to take Crimzo out first. That he does, so now it's going to be a better barrage for Montreal Rebellion. He's got the supercharging, he's got the Nano. As of right now, he's going to keep the barrage for a better moment. It's going to be really nice to use as Team Envy tries to come back and stall. No one's on the point for Envy right now. They finally do start to contest it, and the key was Crimzo. You take Crimzo out, then the Pharah in the air gets a little bit more room to work with. That goes to show how well Crimzo was able to keep the bird in the sky in check. Not only just the bird, but also the Sombra that Smex was playing a little earlier. Whole Hog is out as well. Team Envy do give up that second point, but they were able to take a ton of time off the clock because Montreal Rebellion did take A pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Montreal really getting stymied, perhaps a bit too stubborn running that pharmacy composition. It got them there at the end of the day, but with barely a minute and 15 left. So Envy now going to have to look to round 2. They'll be defending first since Montreal had the smaller time bank. And I'm curious what they're going to be running. So point A attack, you want to, it's very difficult when you're working with such small amounts of time. Do you go for the guaranteed win on point A, even though you might have to swap to something a bit more consistent for point B, give up any potential ultimates, or do you go for the long game right out of spawn? And it looks like Montreal, at least for now, going to be going with their tried and true, despite the difficulties Facility had on point B.
Well, it wasn't just Facility having difficulties. Smex was having a hard time getting anything going as well. And when you're playing Sombra on this first point, you gotta get to the EMP. If you don't get to the EMP, then your push is over. And with a minute and 16 seconds and how Smex has been playing, I think he's right on that line if he's going to be able to do just that. Team Envy playing the Sombra much better for the time being. And the crazy thing about that is that Sharp was not their Sombra player 3 games ago. It was Jaru. And then after Elivote leaves along with Lulcich, Elivote was such a flex god that the rest of his team can kind of play whatever they wanted. They're a little bit more locked into these comps now. That's why you're seeing Sharp on the Sombra, but Sharp, Jaru, the Sombra, both effective so far.
Very effective, and Jaro is certainly effective on the Brigida role as well. That's not something that we can say for all DPS players currently in Brig Jail, but Montreal Rebellion have a ton of firepower, but they gotta use it now. Less than 60 seconds left, and they haven't found an early pick, so this is probably going to be an overtime fight no matter what.
Happy's going to be hacked. They gotta follow up that damage when the hack goes through. Smex is down though, and when you're relying on this EMP to set things up, that can be brutal for your offense. But Montreal do find an extra pick, so they have a man advantage here. This is definitely not over. Jkaru, though, is going to fall, so Team Envy are going to have to try to do this a little bit longer with that res. It's still Montreal Rebellion's numbers game, but Team Envy still staying in this quite well. Yeah, Jaru's still alive. That means Montreal can't put a toe on the point without Jkaru, and now 3 of them getting hit by that EMP. Difficulties in the future for Montreal. They lose 2 of their members. Beautiful EMP coming in from Sharp. I think a lot of us might have been surprised by how quickly he was able to get it. We were so focused on Smex. Smex got to get EMP. Smex needs to do this. Oh no, Smex died. But on the other side, who already had it? Who was showing us exactly how to use that Sombra? It was Sharp on Team Envy. Round 3 complete. Montreal unable to get anything going. Team Envy need 1 tick. Yep. And just want to point out that one of those first trades was Fire getting a melee kill onto Smex's Sombra.
I think that's 4 now. I don't know. Maybe we should have a counter at home, but that just can't happen, Montreal. It's a tough life there for Sombras, with teams getting more and more comfortable with her playstyles, expecting her to be in that backline, expecting the translocate into EMP style engage. But I mean, it is what it is. If you lose your Sombra like that, that's just one tool, one player down, an automatic 5v6, whoever you are. So hopefully we can see Smex just pull back on the reins just a little bit, not go get as greedy for those backline kills. And in fact, actually for the defense, he's just going to be on Roadhog. Another great hero for him. So.
I'm gonna say it right now. I think Montreal Rebellion should move away from the Sombra for the time being. I think their Sombra is getting outplayed right now by Team Envy, and you're just choosing to go into a losing fight, in my opinion. If you're putting Smex against Sharp, they're gonna need Sharp to kind of calm down just a little bit, right? And
Fire. Come on, Fire.
I know, right?
Just let the Sombra be.
But you know, the word that you like to describe Envy and Atlanta is surgical, right? They're so precise in how they take down these Sombras, and the support line's a part of that.
Yeah, definitely a part of that. If you know your support line is strong, then you can just rest easy in your heart and with your resources in terms of peeling for them. You know that they can stand their own. Montreal now going to set up their bunker on the high ground. You have Facility on the Hanzo here, Mistakes on the Torbjorn, one of his less popular heroes, and Tensa on the Baptiste, so solo healer.
It's very interesting that in Contenders, almost nobody plays Baptiste. Even in these bunker strats, they're choosing to play Mercy instead, maybe a little bit more familiar, but an early pick onto Facility means that Team Envy still have the momentum, even after Numlock goes down. Sharp is still pushing damage in. The turret does find fire. That's got to feel good, along with that hook. Montreal Rebellion should be able to defend this. They still have 5 more minutes to go. And remember, Team Envy only need that one tick.
I'm the one who gets the backline kill, says Smex. Team Envy. Good dive coming in, recognizing one of the weaknesses of the Montreal bunker, no Brigida, so you're not really going to see a ton of CC, even though Goliath is on the Mei, but they do not sustain in that long fight. So Montreal Rebellion are going to be able to hold for now, and good thing too, now they have 3 ultimates to run with, so even if Team Envy jump right on top of this Orisa, they're going to have to deal with not only an Immortality Field, an Ant Matrix, but also the Supercharger and Blizzard, all very deadly to these squishies. As Team Envy swapped Jaru onto the Genji. Very interesting here.
With the amplification matrix along with the supercharger, if they choose to layer those on top of each other, this may become so deadly. And this Roadhog, everyone on the team pretty much only needs one headshot to take someone down. And he's going to go ahead and use the amplification matrix. The Immortality Field's already down. Jaru's on at the Genji, a character that he's very well known for pre-Brig Jail, and he's going to Swift Strike right into that Baptiste, take out the Immortality Field as well, and in turn take out Montreal Rebellion as Team Envy go up 2-0. Montreal Rebellion need to figure out how to reverse sweep if they want a higher seed, but as of right now, Team Envy look to be in control.
Yeah, the sweep no longer possible for Montreal Rebellion, but they still can take the series, which would be a first all season long. It's Team Envy. I was going to guess that they were, hey, put Jaru on the Genji. He's one of those OG Genji mains. He'll build Blade up fast, get the nano on him, boom goes the dynamite. But turned out that, I mean, they didn't even need it. I don't know if I've seen an Immortality Field go down that quickly. But again, all of Team Envy's minds hyper-focused on one thing, kill that backline. And Jaru on the Genji with the ability to combo those Swift Strikes, just cherry on top.
So glad to be seeing people like Hoxel on that Genji. So here in Contenders, we can see that going on and be like, we're going to get some Genji in playoffs. I'm so excited because we got some good ones. Jaru is a name that is Genji back in the day, right? With agilities back in season 0. There's
Shatter 2K, remember that name?
You guys remember a name, Supe? That was another one from Ube as well. That one was pretty good, but I'm so excited to see what we're going to see in playoffs. We're definitely going to be seeing both of these teams. Team Envy will be our 1 seed and showing us exactly why during this matchup, making those adjustments, even when on the back foot, and then taking down the bird in the air Facility very quiet near the tail end of the half. I wonder what adjustments both teams are going to make. We'll see in 6 minutes.